to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was trucking up the highway, minding my own lane, with some dude in a Prius went and flipped me off. Guess my redneck hit him wrong. Seems like everyone these days is a ticking time bomb full of hate for folks like me who don't agree and ain't ever gonna change. And it gets me thinking, leave this long-haired country boy.
Hey everybody, this is Jon Marietta, and I'm having another Trump-tastic day down here in southwestern Pennsylvania. Today's show is being brought to you by Burns Krause Funeral Home, Advanced Equipment Rentals, Solid Foundation Ministries, Thundering Hills Feed and Supply, JB's Market, Fayette County Recovery Storage and U-Haul, Mung's Auto Body and Repair, Mauser's Garage and Tire Center, Humbert Sanitation Septic Service, The Ink Spot, Highline Motorsports, Southwestern PA Logging and Tree Service, Powerline Speedway, Mary Beth's Towing, and Pine Creek Structures. I want to thank everybody that is tuning in and tuning into the new podcast. I want to really appreciate it. We were having a little bit of a glitch here today, so you're going to get this one recorded. It'll come back to you in a little bit, but it'll look like it's live. Anyways, I want to appreciate all of it. I got Larry Daugherty with me right now. We were supposed to have a couple other guests, and it's not working out for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but we'll get that worked out as time goes on. So let's get started. The Alamo fell on March 6th, 1836. But that date is more than a line in a history book. It is a day when men gave their all rather than live on their knees under tyranny. That dawn dripped with smoke and blood, and it also rang with the kind of courage hell cannot understand and heaven does not forget. Let me lay it down for you like a preacher talking to his country flock. On March the 6th, 1836, after 13 hard days of siege, the storm finally broke. The Mexican army under Santa Anna surged against those battered walls like a dark tide. His will, the only law he cared about, his pride, swollen bigger than the lives he was crushing. He didn't want citizens, he wanted subjects. He didn't want voices, he wanted silence. Inside Alamo were farmers, blacksmiths, lawyers, wanderers, ordinary men with dirt under their nails and fear in their chests, but steel in their souls. They weren't perfect, they weren't polished, but they had settled something with their maker. God did not put us here to live as another man's cattle. They heard the cannons booming day after day. They saw the numbers, and they knew the math didn't work. But there comes a point where a man stops counting enemies and starts counting what's worth dying for. History tells us that the line scratched in the dust, the commander saying in so many words, if you're willing to stay and fight, cross over. That was more than a military choice. That was an altar call in dirt and gunpowder. Every man who stepped across it preached a silent sermon. My life is not my master, but the truth is, my comfort is not my master, but liberty is. And if I must pour out my last breath to say no to tyranny, and let it be today. Be on your guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous. Be strong. That's 1 Corinthians 16:13. And I believe words like that were carved into their hearts long before we carved them onto paper. Joshua 1:9 thunders, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. These men stepped into March the 6th, 1836, with a kind of courage burning in their bones. When the final assault hit before dawn, hell came crawling over those walls. They could have tried to slip away in the darkness. They didn't. They loaded what powder they had left, fired through the smoke that choked their lungs, fought room to room, step by bloody step, knowing each heartbeat might be their last. The world wrote, they were defeated. Heaven wrote, on this day, men gave their all rather than bow down to tyranny. Santa Anna walked away from that smoking ruin, thinking he had written the last line of the story. He believed the fall of the Alamo was the end of resistance. The final proof that his iron hand would rule unchecked. He thought March the 6th, 1836 was the day he broke the back of freedom in that land. But men make plans, puff out their chests, and God just smiles. The cross looked like defeat too, until a stone rolled away. The Alamo may have fallen, but the God who rules history had different plans. Out of those ashes, he raised a fire in the hearts of a people who would not forget, a cry that shook a nation awake. Remember the Alamo. What the tyrant thought was the end, heaven had already scheduled as a spark. That defeat became a rallying cry at San Jacinto, where the shout of "Remember the Alamo" rode on bullets and bayonets and turned the tide against the very man who thought he had ended it all. And now, here's where I stop talking about them, and I start talking about us. March the 6th, 1836 is not just a date. It was a declaration. It says to every generation that watches from a safe distance, this is what it looks like when ordinary men decide there are things worse than dying. This is the day they spend everything they had rather than sell their souls cheap. Tyranny doesn't always show up in a bright uniform, drums, banners. Sometimes it sinks in wearing a suit and a smile, signing papers in back rooms, twisting rules, hiding behind committees and legal jargon. It shows up in officials who think they are the lords over the people instead of servants under God. It whispers, don't make trouble. Don't speak up. Sit down and let the grown-ups handle it. That is Santa Ana in a necktie. Think about it. But the same spirit that burned at the Alamo can burn in every little county in this state. It says, we will not bow to corruption. We will not trade our God-given rights for comfort, grants, or threats. We will not let fear run our country, our homes, or our churches. Scripture reminds us, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Fear is the language of tyrants. Courage is the language of free men. Those men at the Alamo stood their ground, muskets and cannon. You and I are called to stand our ground with truth in our mouths, backbone in our spines, and knees bent only to God. They faced the dictator's army. We might face the bloated bureaucracy, a crooked board, or an arrogant official who thinks your tax dollars are his personal kingdom. But the moral choice is the same. Bend the knee or brace your feet. So when I speak the date, March 6th, 1836, I'm not giving you trivia. I'm drawing a line in the dirt of this very county. I'm asking you, when your day comes, when they tell you to hush up, sit down, you leave it to the experts. Will you cross that line? Will you stand up for what is right when it costs your friends favors? It can cost you friends, and it will cost you favors, and maybe even your job. The Alamo fell on March the 6th, 1836. Santa Ana thought that was the end, but heaven knew it was only the beginning. That day men gave their all rather than live under the boot of tyranny. And if plain men back then stare down a tyrant with little more than powder, grit, and faith, then by God, surely we can stand up today with ballots, with voices, with open Bibles and open eyes, and declare to every would-be Santa Ana, you are not our master. We will fear God, not you. Okay, we're back to Larry again. Larry, I'm glad you was able to stop in today. I appreciate it. And I know you've been busy over the last couple weeks getting signatures, doing what you need to do. And I won't ask you the number yet because I don't think you probably even know what the number is going to be. Probably not till Monday evening.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people passing out and trying to get signatures for you. There seems to be 3 different facets in the county, in Fayette County, that's running for state GOP chairman or committeeman. And I think that the time has come that we have to change these people, because the people that we had before have hidden things, done things. So we really got to think about what we're doing. And I think we got to keep on keeping on. And I guess what I want you to do is I want you to tell us a little bit about this path that you've been on for the last few weeks here, and what you've been doing, and then why you think that we need to change things.
Well, I think the biggest thing that the more I get out and talk to voters, the definition of insanity, same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Exactly what happened. And when the voters feel disconnected to the party, then you have it. They're not going out and talking to people. They're not abiding by. They're aligning with other folks that they shouldn't be aligning with. The bottom line is it's about the Republican voters, not the leadership. In my opinion, the GOP committee answers to the voters, Republican voters. When you start disconnecting yourself as a leader from your voters, then the party fails. That's what we have right now. The party is failing horribly for the citizens of Fayette County, the Republican citizens of Fayette County. And whenever they start thinking that they don't have a voice, that's wrong. Can't let that go any further. I know Melanie String, Dale Custer is with me. They feel exactly the same way. And again, folks that are in there, I feel personally that they haven't done anything for the Republican side. Backroom deals. A lot of things are coming to light. I'm not a politician. Lord knows I'm not. And but the thing is I'm seeing things everybody else is seeing too. And whenever I'm going out and beating the doors down, talking to voters, they're saying the same thing.
Let's move your mic just a little bit closer, Larry, and tilt it up some.
All right.
Let's see if that helps out anything. It seems like the internet is just giving us a problem here today, but we'll get it. We'll try to work our way through it. Anyways, I know you served, Larry, and like you said, you got dropped off in a place where everybody there wanted to kill you. So you were in Afghanistan,
Iraq.
Yep. Okay, and I think that that's part of the people don't understand, and that's why I started out with the Alamo today. There was the men down there stood on a wall, and they knew that they were going to die that day. There was no doubt about it. I mean, they knew they were it was 20-1 against them, but they managed to take about 900 of them, 900 Mexicans with them. So, and I always think that that's a whole lot better. Not a whole lot better, but I think that's what I'm trying to say is it took a lot to stay right there. I mean, and of course there was a lot of, Travis and Jim Bowie was there and Crockett was there. And there was other people there. And actually, it's never been proven, but they believe that Crockett was sent by the president because they wanted to make sure that they wanted to eventually get Texas in the Union. That's what happened. It took a while, and then evidently Texas became a state. At that time, Texas was trying to become a nation. They were trying to lose Mexican rule. But what I guess I'm saying is we know that here in the county things aren't perfect in Fayette County. They're not perfect anywhere, but we have an underlying discontent, I want to say, or that people are trying to do everything they can because they want to hold on to what power they have. And you've actually seen this. And when the two of us got together and met for the first time, you understood. You understood where all these people were coming from. But there's an evil that abides in these people, and they don't want nobody to cross that line. They don't want nobody to stand up against them. I mean, the Republican Party right now in Fayette County is got about 12,000 more people voting on the Republican side than the Democrats. And I can remember when it was the other way, when it was 10-1 in Fayette County. It was 6 or 7-1, really. But I remember that's the way it was. And if you wasn't a registered Democrat,
You didn't have a chance.
You didn't have a chance of doing anything.
Well, here's the thing I don't understand is whenever you're saying that people with power.
Well, the people that have the perceived power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is that power is the voters. And that's the disheartening thing of our thing is because there is no power in the GOP committee without the vote.
Exactly.
And that's why we need to get the voters back in polls. We also need to put good people in there that actually understand what the voters' needs are.
One of the things that I did when I ran, I told everybody I was running for recorder of deeds the first time. First thing I said, my name wouldn't be above my office door. It wouldn't be on my office door. So the first thing I did, and I got criticized terribly for it from some of these people. I had put on the office door on the glass. I had somebody come and they did a like etched in the glass, but sort of. And what it done is what they did was it says the recorder of deeds for the people of Fayette County. That's the people's door.
Yeah.
It isn't my door.
Yep.
That's not my office. They elected me to do the best I could for them. And I think that part we lose. And what I'm saying is people vote people in and they expect them to do the right thing. Turn around and this is what happens. They think, oh, well, they'll never find out about this or they'll never check on that. And what happens is a little bit at a time, there's corruption and it grows. And that's what we're seeing with this committee run with these people. We're seeing that they are scared to death that the power is going to slip through their fingers. And especially and so now you have 2-3 factions. You have that are running for state committee. And I really believe that the We the People faction is the one that we have to keep moving forward. Because it isn't about just Republicans, it's about the people. I mean, I was elected to serve everybody and I will serve everybody. I mean, and that's how it is. And I know that you're going to be elected as a state representative or representative for Fayette County to the state for the GOP. You have to keep moving forward with that. I mean, you got to do what the people want you to do. You can't listen to a certain sect. It has to be everybody.
And the thing is too is that my goal when I'm elected is to go out and actually meet. I mean, not just meeting them now for the signature stuff like that, but constantly asking for their input because that's what we need. We need the Republican voters to come to us, or we go to them and say, "Hey, what do you need?" And these meetings need to be because it's not a private exclusive club. It's for the Republican voters of Fayette County, and they all need to be able to come in, open doors, sit down, and respectfully ask questions of their elected people that they have in office. And that's, it hasn't been done. It needs to be done.
Well, I really appreciate what you're doing, and people don't realize until you step over that line and try to run for office how much you expose yourself. I mean, it does. I mean, you're exposing expose yourself, and then with certain people, they'll attack your family, they'll attack your children, and I see it. I see it over and over.
And that's the bad thing is that there's it should be hands off. It should be about your policy. It should be about what the platform you're running on. But it's gotten down to the point where it's personal attacks. But the thing is like an old NCO told me one time, if the military wanted to issue feelings, it would have done so at boot camp. So myself and my wife are pretty much hardened as far as with the feelings and things like that, and letting run off water like a duck's back. But the thing is that when you start attacking people and private citizens and things like that, then you're exposing yourself to what you really are. And because you're nervous about somebody like you said, getting in and taking away your thunder and whatever power they may be. But and that's the thing, there's no respect. I mean, I remember back in the 80s and early 90s, there was respect among people running for office. There was a the debates and things like that, and there's nothing like that now. There's no respect from different sides and things like that, and it needs to get back there. Maybe old fashioned, but on the other hand, it needs to get back to where it's common sense and respectfulness, and it's okay to agree to disagree.
Well, I think that that's true, and I think that what has happened is they're so scared that they're going to lose whatever little bit of power they're talking about. You're running for an office that's actually going to cost you money to be in.
Yeah, it's not paid for.
I mean, you don't get paid. You got to go to Harrisburg. I know the Republican committee will probably help out with paying for a hotel room or whatever. But basically, I mean, you're going to be using your own gas, and you're going out there, and you're going out to represent Fayette County. I commend you for that. A lot of people don't realize that, that's what this is about. You're going to represent the Republican voters for Fayette County at the state committee.
Yeah,
and your vote will probably your vote will have to dictate what the people back here want. The other thing is, I want to tell everybody, I'm getting phone calls from all over the state, which amazed me. There's a lot of grassroots movement, a lot of we the people folks running for these state offices, and I really think that that's what we got to keep on doing. Got to take back what's ours.
Well, yeah, exactly, and it's all about the voters. It has nothing to do with politicians. It has nothing to do with GOP. It's about the people. The power needs to be put back in the hands of the people. I mean, they are the bosses of the politicians. The politicians, the voters don't work for the politicians. Politicians work for the voters. That's the same with the GOP committee or any board. They work for the people.
Well, Larry, I really thank you for coming in today. Got a new studio we're working out of. Got a few glitches we're going to have to fix up, and I want to thank you for coming in today. We're going to be back on Tuesday at 4:00. Hopefully, we'll be able to get the internet taken care of by then. Looks like that's what the problem is. Something to do with the slow internet, but we'll get it figured out. And is there anything else you want to say before we close up?
Yeah, rather you vote for me or Melanie or Dale, or you vote for somebody else, just get out and vote and use your voice. That's the biggest thing. That's your right as an American citizen. Get out and vote.
And I'm backing all three of these people. I'd like for them to get. I'd like for them to get elected. I'm thinking they're going to get elected, and I really believe they will. We got a lot of people behind them. I know that there's several churches pulling for people, and I really think that this is going to be a good thing. We're getting the signatures, and to get them on the ballot by Monday night, we should be able to see where we're at and be able to get that taken care of. And I know there's going to be a trip to Harrisburg, and everybody's going to try to get in. Probably be a long line, I would imagine. But anyways, they have. I'm under the understanding that they can do it. They scan all the signatures in right now, and better, a little quicker. So, but anyways, I'm going to close up the show today with this. I always close my Friday shows the same. Life is short. Live it. Love is rare. Grab it. Memories are sweet. Cherish them. Faith is being tested. Stand firm. Time is precious. Make the most of it. Make the most of it. Trust God. Take the ride. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am Jon Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.